Hello, I'm Jason. I'm a children's author. I've written a couple of books so far. What Can You See? And I Like to Put Food in My Welly. Now, I was supposed to be touring around the country, doing cafes, bookshops, schools, things like that over the next few months, but of course we can't do that at the moment. And we've all now been inside trying to spend the week and longer, trying to work out how we can spend our time. And reading and having fun with books and language is of course one of those things. And I'd like to try and be able to share these with you. I mean, one of the things that I've been doing with my children is things like watching Oliver Jeffers videos and drawing with Rob Bidoff. So they're two of my favourite children's authors, and given that they are doing things to try and help people pass the time, I want to try and do the same. I want to try and share my books with you. Now, we've already watched, or you've already seen me doing What Can You See? So now we're going to have a go at reading I Like to Put Food in My Welly. Okay? Now, one of the things that's worth pointing out about this one here is that it's for Asa, my son, whose crazy sense of humour inspired my own, and hopefully you'll get that idea from this book. Now, each chapter in this book is made up of 3 pages. The first page sounds perfectly normal, just nice simple rhymes, but after that we start playing around and having a bit of fun with the language. So let's just see what happens. We start off with butter. The butter goes on the bread. The hat goes on your head. You go to sleep on the bed. All perfectly normal things that you might do. But we now move the last word in the sentence and we get the butter goes on your head. The hat goes on the bed. You go to sleep on the bread. And over here, the butter goes on the bed. The hat goes on the bread. You go to sleep on your head. That's a bit strange, isn't it? Next we have rabbit. You pull a rabbit from your hat. You stroke a cuddly purring cat. You wipe your feet upon the mat. And now we mix it up a bit. You pull a rabbit from a cat. You stroke a cuddly purring mat. You wipe your feet upon a hat. I don't think your dad would like that if you wiped your feet on his hat. You pull a rabbit from the mat. You stroke a cuddly purring hat. You wipe your feet upon your cat. What do you think would happen if you tried to wipe your muddy feet on your cat? And the next one we have is called plum. My favourite fruit is a plum. When I'm sad, I need my mum. I like to make noise on my drum. And then we mix it up a bit. My favourite fruit is my mum. When I'm sad, I need my drum. I like to make noise on a plum. My favourite fruit is my drum. When I'm sad, I need a plum. I like to make noise on my mum. Don't think your mum would like that. Telly is the next one. At night, I like watching the telly. My foot is too big for my welly. I like to put food in my belly. And we mix it up again. At night, I like watching my welly. My foot is too big for my belly. And I like to put food on the telly. And over here, at night, I like watching my belly. My foot is too big for the telly. And I like to put food in my welly. It's not actually my welly, but it's the only one I could find. The next page is apple tree. I like to climb an apple tree. I like to drink a cup of tea. I like to swim out in the sea. Perfectly normal, simple rhymes. But when we mix it up a bit, we get, I like to climb a cup of tea. I like to drink out in the sea. I like to swim in an apple tree. You can't swim in an apple tree. I like to climb out in the sea. I like to drink an apple tree. I like to swim in a cup of tea. Who wrote this? Oh, I did. Liar is the next one. And there's an interesting video from Max Lowe, who did the drawings, as to why the lie looks like this. You can find that on my YouTube channel. You never listen to a liar. You run away from a fire. You put your clothes in a dryer. You never listen to a fire. You run away from a dryer. You put your clothes in a liar. You never listen to a dryer. You run away from a liar. You put your clothes in a fire. I don't think your mother would approve of that. Next we have lake. It's fun to go boating out on the lake. There are thousands of scales on the back of a snake. You put lots of candles on a birthday cake. It's fun to go boating on the back of a snake. There are thousands of scales on a birthday cake. You put lots of candles out on a lake. It's fun to go boating on a birthday cake. There are thousands of scales out on the lake. You put lots of candles on the back of a snake. And the last little chapter we have here is called Star. You find your way with a star. You drive to school in the car. Strawberry jam comes from a jar. All perfectly normal until we mix it up a bit. You find your way with a car. You drive to school in a jar. Strawberry jam comes from a star. You find your way with a jar. You drive to school in a star. Strawberry jam comes from a car. Well, that's all a bit strange, and that's what you get when you like to put food in your welly. I hope you enjoyed this book. It was written by me, Jason Korsner, illustrated by Max Lowe, and I'm waiting for Max to start doing his own Draw with Max videos on YouTube during our time at home, because it would be a lot of fun to learn to draw some of these. Okay, I hope you find other things to do as well as reading to try and keep yourselves entertained and engaged and inspired during our time here, and I hope it's all over soon and we can start enjoying books for real, back out in the real world, in bookshops, in cafes, in playgroups and in schools. And for now, I wish you all well.